Hey guys, welcome back. How's it going? Today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be taking a look at a servant that was released on NA. Normally on this series we just kind of do the ones that are released on JP. Because I feel like a lot of the times for the NA servants, most people kind of know what they do already, right? And so they just kind of... I think like going into a deep dive into a character that most people have acknowledged and recognized is kind of a redundant point, right? For example, you don't need me or really any other YouTuber to probably tell you that somebody like Cuckoo is disgustingly powerful. It's kind of just like something just known in the community, right? So no point in me making a video on that. However, Johanna is a little bit different. And by that, I mean that Johanna is a unit that is very, very powerful, but it gets slept on really, really hard. She is a unit who is, I'm not going to say power crept, but definitely overshadowed by the existence of somebody like Castoria, simply because she is an art support, right? And so, kind of like what I did with Mary Annie when she dropped, this is a character that I feel like a lot of people are just going to kind of ignore, and I think that's a little bit too sad. So I'm going to give them a little bit of a spotlight and maybe convince some of you to waste your Draco funds on a good old Christian girl, shall we? So, with that out of the way, let's take a look into Pope Johanna. Let's start with the most important thing about any servant ever. Appearance, because we're all shallow anime fans. First Ascension, it's kind of like a traveling monk kind of deal. She got an owl named Hockey. Adorable. If you make the joke in my comments, I will ban you. She has these adorable little hair buns. They're very, very cute. I like the cloak. The owl is cute. Good design. Second Ascension. She's a deacon, or a cardinal rather. I'm not Catholic, if you could imagine. So I'm not exactly sure how those ranks look, but because she's red and I know that the bird the cardinal is red, I'm going to call her a cardinal. Somebody out there who is Catholic probably doesn't like that I'm saying that, but you know, just gonna take a shot in the dark. If not cardinal, why red? Deacon of the Deep? I mean, well, a deacon is just kind of a generic term for a high-ranking member of the church. You're correct, cardinals wear red while the Pope wears white. Got it, sick. By the way, the bird the cardinal. Mine and my grandfather's favorite bird. So there you go. Little Klidge lore drop there for you. They're great, they're adorable. Yeah, good design. It's very, very ceremonial is the word I'm gonna use. It looks good. It's a good look for her. Yeah, this is the mitre. It's the big Pope hat, which I only know because of Binding of Isaac. And then, of course, the one that we all know and love, the Third Ascension, the one that she appears on in Trom. Great design. It's the one that I stylized my emote after. If you're in my chat right now, go ahead and spam that emote so the people on YouTube can see it. It's good. It's a good one. It's really nice. It's just, I don't know. I like the blues that are used in it. It's just a really nice look. It's this particular one, this particular Ascension rather, is stylized after the, God, which tarot card is it? I believe it's it's either the Empress or it's the High Priestess. It's stylized after the High Priestess card in tarot, because Pope Johanna is the High Priestess in tarot. Good Ascension. It looks really good on her. She has a very nice smile. And last but not least, her final Ascension art. A little bit more muted colors, but it looks very, very nice. Her little speech that she gives with this when you ascend her is very cute. All around, really, really good design. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's good. She's got good, yeah, comfy vibes is a good way to put it. She has a good vibe to her. I'm going to keep it on this one because I like this one the best. Alright, but now, what about her stats? She is a ruler, 5-star, with a max HP of 15,592 and a max attack of 10,126. In other words, this is a support lineup, right? Very obviously a support unit with these stats, for the most part. Big defense, she's a tank, she can take a lot of hits. She's also a ruler, so you know. She's going to be taking next to no damage if you have her set up correctly. Yeah, pretty good. And then she has a 3-hit buster, 3-hit art, 4-hit quick, and a 5-hit extra, which is it's pretty good. It's decent. Here's the thing about her that I think should be brought to light, and that is her kit. Now, by and large, if you are running anything arts adjacent, the go-to that you want to do is double Castoria, right? In the vast majority of contexts, double Castoria will take you through just about everything. But, you know, a lot of the time, well, not a lot of the times, but you'll find yourself in instances where you can't do double Castoria. And so what a lot of people do is they'll just slot in, instead of Castoria, they'll use a Castoria and a Lady Avalon. R.I.P. Tamamo, dead in the streets of New York. Sucks to be her. Hate to see it. They're never buffing her dogshit morph skill. It's never gonna happen. Plus, she wants to go on a whole goddamn tirade about how fucking Koyan of Dark doesn't work and then makes her work. And motherfucking Tamamo is over here with a year 1 skill on a god tier servant and is dragging her down single-handedly because it's so bad. I'm ranting now, but I'm mad. Because I love using Tamamo, and Tamamo is so much fun to use, and this motherfucking company won't change your stupid fucking morph skill just to give 20% battery. Like, I need to stop. She does deserve better. She just needs a little thing. Just a little thing that'll drag her up from the depths, because she's not a bad servant, she's just not as good as the competition. And arguably, Johanna is better than her in some contexts. And, okay, so where I was going with all of that. So, what I was going to be getting at is that double cast story is better for just raw defense or NP spamming, right? But there are a lot of units that, you know, after those 3 initial turns, you don't always have the thing that you want to be dead, right? And so, for longer fights, or more, honestly, I'd argue for more mid-tier fights, or fights that you know are going to last longer than 3 turns, but maybe not too terribly much longer than that. I would say Johanna is one of the best options in that category. For any, like, I don't know, challenge content, she is probably insane for it because of how her kit is set up. She's a great unit for just, like, a slot-in art support if you don't want to be running a double Castoria for whatever reason. And so, let's take a look. First skill, Saint of Imaginations A. It is a targetable 5,000% star weight on arts specifically. A critical damage up for arts by 100% for 3 turns on one party member. Makes 10 stars every turn. That is a disgustingly powerful skill. Because I want to remind people, the 5,000% means that stars on the field are going to that art card, guaranteed. And when they're going to do a shit ton of damage with that art card, guaranteed. For certain servants, like for instance, my go-to when I think of like an arts crit unit is Saito Hajime. Because I love using, he's just the one I use the most in these situations, and he's the one who I always theory craft running alongside with Johanna, and that's because Saito has really good gains on his NP, but he does have a little bit that like lacks, and his crit damage is already pretty high, and so what Johanna does is she will enhance everything that he needs to do even better. Which is really damn good, because Hajime has really shit cooldowns and uptime, and she kind of helps with that. Isn't Arts Crit different from normal crit, increasing the damage further if you have both? I don't know the full logistics of that, so I'm not going to sit here and lie to people. I couldn't tell you. Anyway, 6-turn cooldown. So for about half the fight, this is going to be up pretty good. Second skill, the Shunned Papal Procession C. It is a party-wide arts up for 20%. It is debuff immunity for 1 time 3 turns for the entire party, a damage cut for 1,000 for 3 turns, and a 30% NP charge for herself. That's, again, really good. It makes your units a bit more tankier. It makes it so that if they're in the situation where, you know, like, I don't know, a bunch of debuffs are coming out in like a challenge or something like that, she can just shut it all down and then also give them a little bit extra oomph on their arts cards, because that's her whole deal. She supports arts. And then also the 30% charge for herself is pretty good. And of course, I should also specify, you can just use these skills on her, and she can do the DPS. I mean, she has arts cards for it. Like, she can still dish out an okay amount of damage. It's not great from my experience and how I've play tested her, but she can do decent damage. And not for nothing, in a couple of years, there's going to be an overabundance of moon cancers that just show up. And let me tell you, somebody like Johanna and Astraya combo is going to just destroy Ordeal Call 3. The Astraya, I've actually not thought about that one. There we go, the Tarot Girls, perfect. You have Judgment and the High Priestess slamming people. That could work out really well. And then her third skill, Disputation of the Pope, which is a 20% party battery and then attack up for the party by 20%. 8 turn cooldown. It's a bit excessive. 7 turn cooldown on this one. Do you know why I'm stupid? Because I misread this third skill. This is 20% every turn for 3 turns. This is 60% NP over the course of 3 turns on an 8 turn cooldown, which is both good and bad. You get more bang for your buck, but it can be removed. Yeah, if you ran Johanna with Jormal and Tamamo, you could functionally make a team that could not die. It can also be used after. Yeah, this is good because it makes it so that you get more and more often. But the fact that it can be removed is something to keep in mind. Put her with EO against moon cancers? Oh, absolutely. Anyway, point being, strong-ass kit. It's very powerful, very support-heavy, and it makes your units that need to shine more. And then she has her Noble Phantasm, Legendum Papal Thronus, which is an AoE Arts NP that hits 3 times, and it does super effective damage against evil alignment. Yeah, okay, it gives her bonus damage against evil, and then also more damage against human, which scales with overcharge. So 50% more damage to evil, and then up to 200% potential with overcharge damage to human, which is to say anybody who's human. And then apply immunity versus just buff block on units for 1 time 3 turns. She's built for challenge quests. Her whole kit is designed to be a challenge quest support, or like a boss fight support. So she's not as usable, per se, as like a Castoria, who is your go-to for everything all the time. But she can definitely be slotted in for a lot of content to cover, in case you're at your Bond 15 Castorian and you're tired of wasting Bond or something. Passives. Magic Resist EX is amazing. It's just a higher chance to not get debuffed. And then Territory Creation A, just bigger arts cards, which is fantastic. I'm assuming Anti-Rider. Yep, good stuff. And then her traits. Female Ruler, Earth, Lawful. Good, 5-star Servant, Humanoid Roman. Weak to... I guess that makes sense. Weak to Enema Lish. Sky or Earth Servant. Sky or Earth except Pseudo or Demi-Servant. Homundai Servant can be in battle and self. I paused on the Roman because I had to remember, because she's a ruler, this ain't that bad. She does need eggs, but, not that bad. Yeah, she has anti-rider so she can peg Constantine. Roman Catholic Church. Yeah, I paused for a sec, because I was like, isn't she Greek? But then I was like, oh yeah, no, she's... And then her growth curve is actually, it's not bad. Like, if you decide to max her out, that's a lot of HP. And then, of course, the Pope is a little bit of a wall to climb, but after you climb that wall, she just likes you because she's baby. Strength DCCA, Luck EX, NP EX, Divinity none. Assets. Take a look. Not many. Not very many. Yeah, no. But my point, yeah, she has good emotes. What the fuck? Expressions. Her expressions are really good. She's really cute. Good design. I like the owl. The owl is very good. And then her Bond CE is My Thoughts and My Records. Bonus damage against evil and human, which, I mean, that just means that her NP is just going to hit harder against those 2 things. Not particularly great. Yeah. She is very, very strong. How do I want to word this? it's interesting to see a character like her be released and have a kit that is very, very obviously powerful and then get instantly forgotten by everybody. Well, sure, the timing was bad before Lilum Harlot, but we didn't know Lilum Harlot was going to come out, right? We didn't have any idea that that was a thing that was going to happen. It was that she released and people were like, Castoria better, and then they just ignored her. But then they continued to just talk about how they wish there was alternatives to Castoria, and then they, you know, don't do shit with it. It's like, I don't know. It feels bad that you have to have the conversation about Castoria anytime that you bring up Johanna, but then again, you also have to, like, you know, kind of explain to a lot of people that the game is not 100% farming all the time. Like, there are units that are good in cases outside of just farming, but, you know, if your only concern is agriculture, I guess that she's not the best servant because, you know, well, I believe it is possible to use her kit to farm if you lack a Castoria, because her kit does have, like this skill for 3-turn farming is kind of funky, but it gives you, like, your 20% and your extra attack, which is pretty huge. And then this one isn't going to help them out very much because they would need to crit. Let me specify this for 3-turn farming. In multi-core, she has a lot more application because she has an AoE NP that can dish out a decent amount of damage. Pretty solid modifiers, too, against, like, a lot of waves of, like, kind of like goon enemies, if you will. Like, I don't know, evil Oni or something like that. Or, like, pirates or shit like that. She can do a pretty hefty chunk of damage to them. And so she can take out a wave by herself. And, of course, this makes it so that, like, you don't have to waste an NP on, like, you know, one big guy. You can use just crit them down to size. This makes them do so much more crit damage. And then, of course, you know, extra arts up just makes it so it's even better. So while she's not like the best unit for like a traditional 3-turn, she's definitely got some application in like multi-core. I'm not gonna say that she's like the best unit in the like for multi-core or anything like crazy like that, but she's definitely like worth looking into and possibly rolling for, especially if you don't have Castoria, because while she's not gonna replace Castoria by any means, she's definitely strong. She is a unit that I feel like is kind of like a breath of fresh air in terms of like a support unit for the arts genre, because she leans into something that the art genre kind of lacks, I guess. Is there like a solid art crit support on the market before her? Like one who's solely dedicated to doing arts and crits? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. At least one that's in the 5-star category, because like, I mean, you could argue like Hans kind of fits that category to a degree, or like Mozart fits that category to a degree. Buki is not a support.
Is it me or is there something wrong with that owl?
No, the owl just has a wing outstretched and is going, boy. Does Lady Avalon do crits? She has a 1-turn arts crit damage. Okay, 1-turn art crit damage. That's not a lot. Yeah, one party member, 1 turn, 100%. And while you get more art out of that, and you know, you get the extra like HP out of it, she's not an arts crit like unit. And so, okay, this kind of takes me back to another thing, because this is burned into my brain because I had to hard defend this character super well. And if you could believe it, they turned out to be a super strong character, so suck my dick, everybody. Yui. My wife. The love of my life. My sweet, sweet homunculus. People would talk about how her NP's effect is, like, confused in a lot of ways. And I've never, ever thought that about her. I thought Ushi was your wife. It's complicated. Because I've always thought that Yui's, like, kit plays perfectly into making up for what is lacking in the card genre that is there. So, like, for example, Quick's damage is kind of lacking, right? It's the weakest, quote-unquote, of the card types, because its raw damage output isn't very good. What does Yui do? She buffs that. Arts has trouble with crits. Like, there's a lot of arts crit units, but they have a lot of trouble with, like, getting the stars onto them and then utilizing those crits properly. This makes it so that they hit those crits even harder. And she also has stuff in her kit to, like, you know, make stars. And then Buster, they just want to hit things really, really hard with their Noble Phantasm. And so she just makes people hit really, really hard with their Noble Phantasm. And so, you know, I remember people being like, sure, her fucking buffs are weird, and I kind of wish they'd be, like, switched around. Like, I wish the Buster thing would have had the crits, and then, like, Arts could have had the attack up, or, like, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, it really... So it's quick attack, art crit, Buster NP. Which, realistically, that's kind of how those the three card types are, like, played for.
Once upon a time you were known as the guy with shoe you is then that video came out.
I'm known as both. I still see comments about me as both. Back to Johanna. She fills in a niche, at least until, you know, Yui comes along. But even then, Yui's kit is more all around. She's not a dedicated arts support, even though she has, you know, art stuff into her kit. But she's an all around support. And take it from the dude who has a 120 Yui and 16 copies of her and has used her to bond 10. Believe me, I know what the fuck I'm talking about when I'm talking about Yui. She's an all-around support, not an art support. Yeah, she's good. You should roll for her in, what is that? A year. Johanna is occupying this very, very interesting space where she can help you to dish out a severe amount of damage as an arts crit unit. So, you know, let's think of some right off the top of our heads, chat. Who are some good arts crit units? I always think of Saito. Saito is my go-to for that. Like, units that are focused on critting with the arts. Lancelot's another one. Muramasa, sure. Draco, perfect example. It's so ironic that the Antichrist and the Pope get along so well. Saber Hoku, fantastic. Chin Liang Yu, absolutely. Hajime, sure. Crimhild, Crimhild's an amazing one, yeah. Ibuki's not a crit unit, god damn it. You just want Ibuki to be relevant because she got a fat ass. Yeah, no, there's so many. Anastasia, she counts, yeah. But but like, she do crit though. She do be kind of critting though. You're right. You say that, but Ibuki crits do go stupid. That is true, but everything that Ibuki does is stupid. Ibuki is one of the most powerful units in the entire game, single-handedly. Melusine's a perfect example of that, actually. Melusine in her first form is ridiculously strong. But people, you know, they only ever use her for her second form. But her first form is crazy good. What about Bakin? Bakin counts, yeah. Rider Murasaki? Sure. My point is that there are so many units that benefit from a unit like Johanna. Just being able to have a unit that can solely support your art critting endeavors. That way you can do big damage with your face cards and then also do big damage with your NP. And she helps out with that a lot. And sure, in a lot of context, you can just bring Castoria, right? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and deny, like, I gotta keep saying this because I know for a fact there are people out there that are like, yeah, but Castoria is better, so why would I bother? Well, there's contexts. Sometimes you don't want to use Castoria. Sometimes the thing that you're doing, you can't use 2 Castoria. Sometimes the thing that you're doing, Castoria is not the right choice. Like, what wasn't that, like, it's not very often, but you do get those off things where it's just like, it's, you know, there are times, there come to be times when it's just like, I would rather be using this. For raw damage output for the art genre, you're not going to get much better than Johanna. If you need to loop your NP, then yeah, sure, Castoria. But if you're just trying to, like, have a good, more evened out set, Johanna's the way to go. And so with that, I would give her the rank of an S. I believe that Johanna is an S tier servant. She is a ridiculously powerful unit. Absolutely ridiculously strong. But she just gets slept on super hard. So, you know, maybe if you have a couple of extra tickets or something that you want to maybe throw at her, maybe you'll manage to pull for her. I wish you the best of luck in your endeavors if you do. For now, though, thank you all for watching. I will catch you all in the next one. If you're watching this over on YouTube, come check us out over on twitch.tv/KlidgeRadio. I'm gonna shut this fucking cat up. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you don't want to get yourself shut up by a cat, how about you come on down to the Klidge Radio channel at twitch.tv/KlidgeRadio. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thought down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Keep it shit up, lads. Peace out. He has arts resist. Arts and NP resist. Maybe this is not going to work out. We'll still try it. I'm curious to see how much. So he has... I could use other card types. Yeah, it's not enough. How much is he gonna... He's probably gonna heal the full from this, I'd assume. Or not. Interesting. Okay, maybe this is not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Hold up. Jesus Christ, that crit! Thank you, Pope. Praise Jesus. God damn. This art crit is about to do 1 billion damage. I'm telling ya. Yeah, he's still gonna have resist, but it's gonna do good damage, and then... Watch this. Jesus Christ, Johanna. Yeah, there you go. That's the one to end that video on, because, yeah, level 1 skill... and it's not the assistance of Lady Avalon by any fucking means, because Lady Avalon's is a 1-turn thing. He has resistance down to arts. Sorry, he has resistance up to arts. Forgive me. What is it with Christian women beating the absolute shit out of people? It happens.